Welcome back, everyone. It is Saturday, May 10th in the MLB. I have 4 picks in this video, and I think all 4 are hitting. We're going 4-0. But without further ado, my name is Austin. As always, we dive into a recap of yesterday. No Logan still. A 2-3 day and a frustrating one at that. We cashed Eduardo Rodriguez over and earned runs. I was sweat-free. Vinny, we split his props. He could have probably hit the bases, but again, he had 200-plus exit velos, so I just didn't drop. The Yankees, A's, not the greatest read there. Both 2+ and 3+ in the first 5. Will Warren pitched really well, so tip the cap. The one that really triggered me, Skubal and Brown. Skubal pitched a gem. Hunter Brown had gone 6 innings in every start this season. He goes 5 2/3. I would have been fine if he got taken out after 5. The fact he was in the 6th inning, he had a chance at the final batter, and they took him out. He didn't even give up a single earned run. The Reds didn't even score yesterday. I would have told you 100% he goes 6. Just a tough one. The last 2 days, that one and the Phillies team total under from 2 days ago, those have to go our way if we're going to turn the season around. And I'm really confident in today's picks. I think the season's about to turn around. I really have liked the reads the last few days. Hopefully today we can deliver a 4-0 sweep, 2-2 day. We have some good plus money today, so even a 2-2 day, probably we walk away positive. Let's have ourselves a day. But before we dive into things, can I interest anyone in a good laugh? Because this honestly cracked me up. That's Aaron Judge home run prop today, plus 125. I saw that. I was like, that's a typo, right? Nope. He's plus 125 did a homer. Cut to Aaron Judge hitting a dong on JP Sears. But without further ado, let's dive into my official plays of the day. My first one will go back to the scene of the crime, a team that I expect to put up more runs today because yesterday they put up 0. That was on Hunter Brown. Today they're facing Lance McCullers Jr. That'll be the Cincinnati Reds. First 5 team total over 1.5 at minus 130 on ESPN bet. I think they could hit a 2.5 line as well here. We're fading Lance McCullers. If you need a pivot, you could take the Reds plus a half in the first 5. I don't really like trusting Brady Singer. I think he pitches well today, and they probably win the first 5. But again, they're going to need the bats to show up, and I think the bats can get us at least 2 through 5. Now, I'm not going to lay a lot of juice going forward in the MLB. We got to make back our units, and playing minus 130s, minus 150s just ain't going to do it. But I do think the Reds at minus 130, I'll take it. I don't think this should be minus 130. I personally think this should be closer to minus 160, if not at 2.5 for good plus money, maybe plus 115. As we're going to fade Lance McCullers Jr., who will make his second start back from injury. Now, McCullers dealt with a ton of injuries, and he missed several years, but he returned and had a decent start against the White Sox. But the numbers on paper are a little bit different there. I mean, if you look at that start, he went out there, he gave up 3 hits. He gave up 3 walks. He went only 3 2/3, 87 pitches, really inefficient. And we saw yesterday, sure, the Reds didn't get anything on Hunter Brown. He had the put away pitches. He was striking him out. I don't remember how many Ks he had. Lance McCullers Jr. doesn't really have the same K stuff that Hunter Brown does. And we look at McCullers' other props. He's got a 4.5 hits allowed line, a 2.5 walks line, and a 2.5 earned runs line. So he doesn't even need to hit the 2.5 earned runs line to cash this over, and we can afford errors. And even if McCullers doesn't have an outs prop, which he doesn't, I don't think it would be higher than 15.5 plus money on the over. So again, I don't think he goes more than 5. They got his earned runs line at 2.5. He was able to get out of some jams. So was Hunter Brown. I don't see McCullers being able to do that. We've seen this Reds team. They're up and down. We know that, but they are 7th in WRC plus versus righties. And what their biggest Achilles heel has really been striking out. And Lance McCullers Jr., not really a guy that strikes out a ton of guys. What I have liked to see, and we saw this at the helm yesterday in May against righties, the Reds own the highest walk percentage. Well, that came back to bite us yesterday as Hunter Brown walked 4 of them. One of them was a strike in the middle of the plate, and the ump was like, sorry. Tough one there. But again, McCullers, even though he gave up 0 earned runs in his first start, expected numbers, 5.84 ERA. He had a 50% hard hit percentage. That would equivalent to 5th percentile. He just doesn't qualify for those numbers. I just think the Reds come in here and they put up 2 runs. It could be a walk. McCullers loves walking guys. A walk could be a 2-run home run. I really think that could be the difference here. They should have plenty of opportunities. They just need to capitalize. Coming off a game that got shut out yesterday, I anticipate them being better. The last 2 times they've been shut out by a righty, the next righty they faced, they scored 4 runs or more on those guys. So again, 2 runs here in the first 5. I'll take a stab at that. I think the Reds offense shows up early. My second play is going to be my last attempt at this market. Yesterday was my last attempt at the HRR market, unless it came through, and it did. Today, this will be my final attempt at this market, and that is both teams to score 2 in the first 5 of the Orioles and Angels game. This is plus 125 on BetMGM, plus 210, plus 220 on DraftKings. So good plus money. Like I said, we haven't had the best track record on this specific market. Actually, was very good to us last year in some parlays, doing like both to score one. But I will take a chance on it here. If it doesn't hit, I'm out. I'm out. I would lean the first 5 over, but the 4.5 is too juiced, and the 5.5 is plus money. So if you want to go for that, go for it. But again, I'm fading both Jack Kochanowicz and Kyle Gibson. Which one you want me to talk about first? Because both have been pretty trash this year. We'll start with Kyle Gibson, who makes his third start back and on the season. In his first start, it was that home run derby against the Yankees. They hit the first 3 batters, hit homers, give up 9 earned runs. He bounced back against the Royals, 3 earned runs. Now he's on the road, taking on the Angels. Now, the thing is, he isn't striking out, guys, 11.9K%, and he's also given up a ton of barrels. So if you give up barrels, you're not striking out, guys. Yeah, good luck. Of the last 8 righty starters to face the Angels, 6 of those guys gave up at least 2 runs. One of the 2 that didn't was Sugano yesterday. Actually pitched really well against him, but he's much different. Gibson is struggling, and I'm just not banking on him figuring it out today. So 2 runs, it could be a single and then a home run. Gibson's given up home runs left and right. I think the Angels, coming off a game, they really didn't do anything yesterday. I think they can get something going early against Kyle Gibson. Jack Kochanowicz on the other side, we need him to give up 2 runs. Well, that's something he's done, and wouldn't you know, every single start this season, he has been pretty bad. And if you look at his numbers, a 5.79 ERA and a 1.5 whip, his expected numbers don't indicate that anything good is on the horizon. He's given up a 311 batting average at home. If you're ever going to trust the Orioles, it's against righty. Now, they have not been as good against righties on the road as they have been at home, but that's mostly been due to the K percentage. They've struggled. 4th highest K rate to righties. Well, Jack Kochanowicz has 20 strikeouts this season in 37 innings pitched. He's also 2nd percentile in K percentage, if you didn't know. So again, it's the guy in Kochanowicz that's allowed a home run in 4 straight, a home run in 6 of 7 starts. He gives up a 267 batting average with runners in scoring position. That improves to 385 with 2 outs. So again, he has struggled. He gives up a lot of base runners, and he doesn't strike out, guys. He's going to need double plays to help him out. Orioles, not a team, knock on wood, that hit into a lot of double plays. So again, I see this as a fade for both pitchers. I want both to allow 2 through first 5. If he doesn't hit, I'm out on the market. Simple as that. Line in the sand. 2 runs on Kyle Gibson, Kochanowicz in the first 2 innings. Let's get a walk or a single and a 2-run homer. Get in and out, first inning, boom. Certainly could happen. These 2 guys are not great. Let's fade them. My 3rd and 4th pick are both going to have the same analysis, are both on the same team, and almost have the same exact prop line. And that is going to be James Wood of the Nationals over 1.5 bases. Again, this is just a half-unit play. It is plus 170 on Bet365. My 4th play is Nathaniel Lowe over 1.5 bases at plus 175 on Bet365. Again, just a half-unit play. I looked at back in both these 2 guys for HRRs, but I ended up going with the bases at plus 170 for half unit. I really think at least one of them hits. I think there's a chance both of these 2 guys could hit. Both lefties, both in the same matchup against Andre Pallante. Cut to CJ Abrams, the other lefty I looked at, hitting a homer, because that would absolutely piss me off. But I will talk about these 2 guys. Again, James Wood and Nate Lowe, both a half unit, both to get 2 bases. Plus 170 on basically both of them. I'll talk about the matchup. It's Andre Pallante. I wanted to fade him. Actually, if I was going to fade a pitcher for earned runs, it was going to be him. Because number 1, the Nats just got shut out yesterday by Eric Fetty. And number 2, Andre Pallante sucks. Let's talk about his numbers. Pallante this season, 275 batting average allowed to lefties. James Wood, Nate Lowe, both lefties. Both will bat probably 2nd and 3rd in this lineup. Pallante has also done a good job at limiting walks to lefties, which is good. We can't have these guys walking. That pissed me off. Pallante, the real reason I'm on this, look at his 4-seamer usage. He throws his 4-seamer 74% of the time to left-handed batters. 74%. You might be like, small sample size. He did the same exact thing last year. And he's been really bad on the road, especially against lefties as well. I think the batting average is in like the 300s. Now, why am I backing James Wood and Nate Lowe? Well, James Wood's the real guy I think could go yard, because James Wood against righty 4-seamers, 477 expected batting average, 991 expected slugging. Of his 14 hits versus righty 4-seamers, 8 of them have gone for 2 or more bases, 4 of them for home runs. Nate Lowe on the similar side, hitting 380 versus a righty 4-seamer. Lower expected slugging than James Wood, as 11 of his hits, only 3 of them have gone for 2+ bases, but he is swinging a hot bat. Yesterday, I don't think he had a hit, but both of his exit velos, 100 and 105 against Fetty. So again, James Wood, he's been hitting 100 plus exit velos. In fact, these two guys on the team both lead the Nationals in 100 plus exit velos versus right-handed pitchers, and both are hitting the ball hard. Now, the only thing that I could see coming back to bite us here is that Palante is a good guy getting the ground balls. He's like 99th percentile ground ball percentage, but he gives up a ton of hard hit balls. And so if a guy like Nate Lowe or James Wood can just get the barrel on the ball and just get it off the ground, it could easily go into a gap or go down the line for an easy double. Or it could go into the bleachers for all I care. Just, I don't think Andre Palante is ready for this one. And I think he's going to get tagged. Then James Wood, as I said, Nate Lowe yesterday, both of his balls at the end of the game against Eric Fetty, both 100 plus. James Wood, he put 3 balls in play yesterday, all at 95 or more higher. So had 3 balls of 95 or higher. So again, I love the value on both these two guys. Plus 175 for 2 bags for Nate Lowe, plus 170 for James Wood. I really think at least one of them comes through. If both comes through, great. We love that. But I really think we got a good chance at smacking both of them. At least one. I think one of these guys gets a double. Palante, or maybe 2 hits. Palante is just not good. The good thing is he hasn't been walking lefties, because that is a concern. He does love the walk guys. So hopefully that's not the case here. But I really like the matchup here for James Wood and Nate Lowe. So both for 2+ bases. So my card, Reds first 5 team total over 1.5. Orioles, Angels, both to score 2 in the first 5. James Wood, Nate Lowe, both over. Nate Lowe. I think he's low. Both over 1.5 bases. Those are the 4 picks. I just want to go 4-0. Or I'll take the first 2 cash and I'll lose the last 2. That's a 2-2 day, but over a unit, 1 back. Either way, those are my favorite picks. Let's have a good day. I feel really good about the reads today. Tomorrow, Vinny, get your ass back in that lineup. Probably be backing him. And then assuming his splits are good. And then we'll see. I'm not backing. I know I've been backing over and earned runs against the Dodgers. I looked at Corbin Burns today, but the Dodgers have randomly struggled against righties recently. Like Cal Quantrill pitched well, Brandon Pfaadt, Viente Biozo. So I'm not going to back a righty against them right now, but they're cracked right now. So either way, those are my 4 picks. Let's have a day. I have 2 other videos on the screen. Celtics, Knicks, Timberwolves, Warriors. And then over here, it's my second channel. If you want to go check that out, I'd appreciate it. It's fun times over there with my wife. Either way, have a great day. Good luck on your picks. And if we go 4-0 today, shirtless tomorrow. Book it. See you tomorrow. Peace. Also, tomorrow's video will probably be live a little bit earlier than this one because it's Mother's Day and I am on the road going for that one. So we'll figure that out. Either way, have a great Saturday. See you guys back on Sunday, hopefully with the brooms out. See you then. Peace.